Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie and I do art videos, and today I'm going to be doing a watercolor painting. And this week I really struggled coming up with something to draw, and I think it had a lot to do with I didn't really take the time to sit down and warm up when I was sketching. I kind of just wanted to get to the good stuff right away, and so I was just impatient. And I find that I am like that a lot of the time, unfortunately, but it is something that I want to get better at, where I do take that time to actually do those warm up sketches. And this is what I came up with to do this week. It took me forever to come up with something, so I decided I was just going to do something that would be simple and easy. Just I didn't have to think too hard on it, and I could just get it done, get something out. And of course, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong with this, unfortunately. And it's kind of funny because I was hoping to just, you know, get this sketched out and ready to go and done. And it just, it fought back. And I think overall I won, but it put up a good battle. but So first, before I get into that whole story, I want to talk a little bit about what I'm using. So initially, I sketched this with a Colorase pencil in my sketchbook. I just use the Canson XL mixed media, that big blue sketchbook, because I can tear out the pages. And I sketched it out, and then I just went over the lines that I wanted to transfer with just like a black ballpoint pen. That way it was easier to see when I was using my light box. And of course, I wanted to try out some paper that I got at Michael's, and it's just the Strathmore 400 series. It was on insane sale at Michael's this week because they're having like their big sale. And it was like, I don't know, it was like $4.50 for this sketchbook or something. It was ridiculous. So I bought a bunch of this Strathmore 400 series because I have used it as just like a sketch kind of thing, but not for a finished piece. So I thought I would try that. And of course, I didn't realize these pages are not perforated. So that was kind of the first thing that went wrong, where I was like, oh, these aren't perforated. Okay, so I ended up having to cut it out instead of just being able to pull it out. And that's not a big deal. That's fine. And then I also use, let's see, for the inking, I used the Copic multiliners because I just wanted, once again, something easy. I didn't want to go in with a brush and do inking. Just Copic multiliners, mostly in the 0.3 and 0.5 sizes. And then I used just my Holbein watercolor, and then at the end I do use a white jelly roll and a gold jelly roll. So, on with the story. So, my first thing I told you was this Strathmore paper it doesn't, it's not perforated, so I had to cut it out. And then after that, when I was inking, and I was using multi-liners, so I wasn't like being super cautious or anything. And I ended up smearing the ink in a couple of places. Thankfully, they were all places where they're going to have shadow, so it ended up being okay. You can't tell it all in the final piece, but like that was so frustrating that I was using a multi-liner and it somehow smudged. And those dry really fast. And I was wearing my smudge guard, of course, but that's not going to really help smudging. It's more going to help keep like oils and stuff off of the paper. So yeah, so that was the next thing. And then my I have Winsor Newton, their colorless masking fluid, and that it was I had never opened it before. I had an old one where it was completely dried up in the bottle. I used it like once maybe, and so I exchanged that for a new bottle, and this is the first time that I used this bottle, and it ended up being dry and not chunky like the other one, but really, really thick. Not, and normally masking fluid is pretty thick, but this was like really thick. And then with like this wash you just saw me do in the background, I was having lots of trouble. I could not get it smooth, and I'm already not good with doing flat washes. So I ended up going over I think 3 times, and then towards like for the third time I was just like, okay, it's good enough, whatever, it's fine. And then after I pulled the masking fluid up when I was done, it actually peeled up a little bit of the paper and peeled up the ink on the paper in some spots. So this was really fighting me, and I was gonna do it. I was gonna get it done because wasn't I wasn't productive for most of the week, and that's really my fault because I decided I was going to work on my day off, and then I ended up hurting myself at work. Not bad, it just really hurt my knee and my leg, and I was kind of dreading having to sit down and paint something because my desk is really tall. At least it's really tall for me. I'm only 5 feet tall, so I have to kind of squat on my chair and lean over my desk in order to see it, not at like a strange angle. And hopefully I will get a desk that angles and maybe a little bit shorter so I can actually have my feet on the ground so that I'm not injuring my leg even more. And I struggled. It was a struggle. So thankfully, in the end, I do enjoy how it came out. I was really kind of frustrated the whole time. I was really impatient, and that was my biggest thing was I was impatient and I should have taken more time and not worried about getting it done quickly. But yeah, I actually really like how I did her skin. I kind of did the blushes and the shadows first, and then I at the end went over it with a base kind of skin layer to kind of harmonize all those colors. And the gold paint was really cool. It's not as like opaque and shiny as the fine tech, but Holbein has a gold and it's really sparkly. So I wanted to use that on her crown because she is some sort of like moth queen. And I also used it as a texture kind of in the back. And in the background it ended up kind of looking like a night sky, which I thought was cool because you think of, at least I do, I think of moths as being like this interesting nighttime kind of creature. So, well, that is my story with this piece. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and a comment. That really helps me out. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already, and then you can see all of my videos when they come out. And I will be setting up my Etsy, and I will have the link down below for you guys if you want to purchase this original or any of the originals that I have in my other videos. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye bye.